Welcome to my channel. Remember to subscribe so you won't miss any of our videos. In today's episode, we are continuing our journey through the book of Genesis, and we'll be looking at Noah's Ark and the flood. Genesis 6 to 9, fully history. Let's read Genesis chapter 6, verse 9 to 22. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and was filled with violence. God saw how corrupt the earth was, for all the people on it were evil through and through. On the earth, God said, I'm going to wipe out everything I have made from the face of the earth, both the animals and the people, for they are corrupt. The earth is filled with violence because of them. And now I am going to destroy them along with the earth. Make an ark of gopher wood. I will preserve with you and with your 3 sons and 2 of every kind of animal, males and females, to keep them alive with you. Thus I will preserve you and them in the ark from the coming destruction. Everything that lives and moves about will come to you, and you must bring them into the ark to keep them alive. So Noah did this. He built the ark as God had commanded. He was 500 years old when he entered the ark with his sons, his wife, and his daughters. And with him went 7 pairs of male and female birds of every kind, 2 of every kind of animal, male and female, and all kinds of creeping things, male and female, all that move on the ground 2 by 2 to keep them alive. That's the reading. Now the story of Noah's Ark and the worldwide flood is one of the most well-known stories in the Bible. Even people who don't know much about the Bible have heard of it. But what many people don't know is that the story of Noah's Ark is actually recorded in the pages of the Quran as well. In fact, there are some amazing similarities between the Muslim and the Christian accounts of the story of Noah. Today we are looking at the story of Noah's Ark and the flood from the perspective of Muslims. To do this, we are going to look at Genesis chapter 6 to 9, which recounts this great story. So let's begin. We are told that Noah was a righteous man, and that he was blameless among the people of his time, and that he walked faithfully with God. It is also mentioned that Noah was a preacher of righteousness. But his preaching was not effective, and people continued to follow their evil ways until the judgment of God fell upon them. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Noah lived during a time when the earth was full of violence. The word violence here can also be translated as wickedness or lawlessness. People had turned away from God and were following their own desires. As a result, God decided to send a flood to cleanse the earth of its wickedness. God spoke to Noah and instructed him to build an ark out of gopher wood. God gave Noah detailed instructions about the dimensions of the ark and how it should be constructed. God then commanded Noah to take with him his family and 2 of every kind of animal to preserve them from the flood. The animals were to be taken in pairs, male and female. After the ark was completed, Noah, his family, and the animals entered the ark. When God saw that everything was ready, he shut the door of the ark. Then the rains began to fall and lasted for 40 days and 40 nights. The rain was so heavy that it caused the water level to rise and flood the entire earth. All the people and animals that were outside the ark perished. After the rain, the waters receded, and the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Then Noah sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded. But the dove could not find dry land, and so it returned to the ark. Again, Noah sent out a raven, but it did not return either. Noah waited patiently until the waters receded, and then he built an altar and offered sacrifices to God. God accepted the sacrifice and made a covenant with Noah and all the living creatures that were with him. God promised that he would never again destroy all living creatures together with the earth, and he established the rainbow as a sign of this promise. So why did God send the flood? One of the reasons for the flood was that the earth was corrupt and that people's hearts were evil. God looked at the corruption and wickedness on earth and saw that it was bad and that it needed to be cleansed. Another reason for the flood was that God wanted to show mercy to Noah and his family. He chose them to be the recipients of his favor because they were righteous and blameless in God's sight. In addition, the flood was meant to be a judgment against the wicked and a demonstration of God's power. It showed that God was in control of the forces of nature and that he could use them to accomplish his purposes. What lessons can we learn from the story of the flood? First, we learn that God is just and righteous. He hates sin and wickedness and will judge those who practice it. Second, we learn that God is merciful and gracious. He is willing to forgive and have mercy on those who repent and turn away from their sin. Third, we learn that obedience to God is essential. Noah and his family were saved because they obeyed God's commands and built the ark. Fourth, we learn that God is in control of all things. Nothing happens apart from his will or knowledge. Fifth, we learn that God keeps his promises. Promised Noah that he would never again destroy the earth by flood, and he has kept that promise. Let's now look at the similarities between the Muslim and Christian accounts of the story of Noah. In both accounts, Noah is described as a prophet and messenger of God. He is chosen by God to deliver a message to the people of his time. Both Muslims and Christians believe that Noah preached to the people about the coming judgment of God. But his preaching was not effective, and people continued to follow their evil ways. In both accounts, God instructs Noah to build an ark as a means of escaping the coming flood. God gives Noah detailed instructions about the dimensions and construction of the ark. In both accounts, Noah and his family and 2 of every kind of animal enter the ark to be saved from the flood. The flood lasts for 40 days and 40 nights and results in the death of all living creatures that are not inside the ark. In both accounts, the flood is described as a judgment of God against the wickedness and sin of humanity. It is a demonstration of God's power and a reminder of his wrath against sin. In both accounts, after the flood, God makes a covenant with Noah and the other survivors, promising never to destroy the earth again. Both Muslims and Christians believe that the story of Noah and the flood is a powerful example of God. His mercy, judgment, and his promise to forgive and have mercy on those who repent and turn away from their sin. The story of Noah's Ark and the flood is one of the most well-known stories in the Bible. It is a story of God's judgment and mercy, of obedience and faith, and of hope and new beginnings. May we remember the lessons of this story and strive to live lives that are pleasing to God. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and share. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our videos. We'll see you in the next episode.